Pause, pivot. Conversations are pause, pivot. Conversations are pause, pivot. No more change, no more holding us back. Answering my purpose, embracing life lost and all. Today's a new day. Let the old pass away. No more limits, don't need to say. Pause, pivot. Conversations are pause, pivot. Conversations are.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to What's in Your Cup Conversations. I am your host, Consuela Nicole, and your favorite inspirational speaker, life balance, and accountability partner. I am that one, and welcome to today's episode. And today we are talking Humpty Dumpty can be put back together again. But before we get started, go ahead and share this out. Hold on, this is not doing everything. There we go. Go ahead and share this out because, as you know, here on What's in Your Cup Conversations, we're not just talking about what's in your physical cup or what you're drinking on. We're talking about your mental, spiritual, and emotional cup. And of course, today's conversation can definitely be the answer to someone else's prayers. Considering we are in that time where everyone don't talk about everything with because their fear of being judged, right? So share it. You never know whose prayer we're going to answer, but we got a good show in for you today. Good evening, Miss Rena. Thank you for joining. I am ready, y'all. Y'all know I spent this past weekend over in Jasper, Florida for the breast cancer, Diamonds and Gems breast cancer awareness banquet. That was freaking amazing. I had an amazing time, was able to host that event with my brother, none other than Dr. Roy L. Johnson Jr. Thank you to Touch of Clean by Mon for having us. So I am excited for that. So I have a quick question though, before we go forward. Why haven't you had the No More Limit experience at your organization or your event, right? Because you can do that. You can bring the girl, this girl, your favorite inspirational big speaker out to your event. We can bring that No More Limit experience to you, that pause, pivot, push experience to you. We got you covered. And in the time being, if you want What's in Your Cup Conversations at your event, you also have the ability to do that as well. On a few different notes, send us an email at smile@consuelanicole.com. How can you miss it? It's smile. Smile at your girl, right? Smile at me and let me know what it is that you need and how we can assist you with your next event and what's going on in your community, in your zip code, because it's not just about what's here in my zip code. Well, we are worldwide, y'all. And I am here about changing lives one zip code at a time and one day at a time. Talking about changing lives, our guest today is a phenomenal woman. I met her about a year ago, going on a year ago. And her smile is what caught my attention first. And she has had this bubbly personality, and we connected right then and there. And she instantly, I need to be a guest. I have a story to tell. So let me tell you about my guest today. Today we have Miss Tiffany Denise with me. Of course, she is a West Coast girl, born and raised in Los Angeles. She is a singer, a writer, a spoken word artist. I may need to test some spoken word skills, Tiffany. I'm just saying. And she's been performing since the age of 6 with a voice rooted in experience. I love that experience, y'all. It's not just, regurgitated from a book. Rooted in experience and spirit shaped by compassion. She brings raw truth, healing, and hope to every stage she steps on. And today she is bringing that raw truth to us here at What's in Your Cup Conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Miss Tiffany Denise to the stage.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, beautiful. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. I am
Good,
doing
good.
wonderful. Aside from a little pain I'm experiencing in my tooth, but I'm all right.
But you
I
here.
am
I
here.
I am excited to have you. And your smile did catch my attention the first time we met. I was like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay. Or was
And
it
I,
the red hair?
huh?
Or was it the red hair?
No, it was the smile. I saw the hair, but the
Okay.
smile caught my attention first.
Okay.
It's something about a person's smile that changes, right? Someone's smile can be that cherry on top that can talk, that can, push somebody off the edge, right? Bringing them
Mhm.
back from the edge because someone may not have smiled at them at all today.
That's true.
And that one smile could be that life-changing moment. So thank you for
Absolutely.
sharing your smile with me. But before I get started, I introduce part of who you are, and who Tiffany Denise is. But how do Tiffany introduce herself to the world every day?
I would say that I am a woman of faith, a woman of resilience, a woman who has been through what they would say hell and back,
Right.
but I have risen from the ashes.
Ooh,
That
okay.
is who I am.
Someone who has risen from the ashes. Now, Tiffany, that's a big statement.
Oh yeah.
That is a big statement. So
Oh yeah.
we're going to have to deep dive into that here
Yeah.
in a minute, right? But I have to ask, I know what's in my cup right now. I have some lemon ginger tea because I have to make sure my vocals are staying right because I want to get through this next 55 minutes with you. But what's in your cup, right? What you sipping on?
A little Dr. Pepper.
Oh, that is one of my guilty pleasures is the Dr. Pepper. So I try not to have them often, but it is.
Yes.
I just recently got turned on to the strawberry cream Dr. Pepper.
Really?
Yes, I was like, ooh, I kind
It's
of like
good?
it.
Is it good?
It is. It has to be cold,
Okay.
but I do. I like that. Okay. Hello, Lori. Thank you for joining in. Monica, thank you for coming in. Chosen Culture, I see you. I see you got some love coming in, Miss Tiffany.
Yay.
Miss Tiffany got some love coming in. So you know what I didn't read about what I didn't share yet about your bio, right? Is
Mhm.
that your art is deeply influenced by your life journey, and you carry a powerful empathy for the brokenhearted, the rejected, and those navigating life's darkest valleys.
Yes.
Explain that to us. What does that mean?
What that means, hmm, there is so much hurt and pain that people experience in this life.
Mhm.
And because of my experiences, it has allowed me to be able to see and feel what others are going through, should I
Okay.
say. Um, to have empathy for them.
Okay.
And because I've lived so many different lives, what I mean by that, I've gone through so many different things. We talked about rising through the ashes.
Mm-hmm.
And, you're looking at a woman who can say, I don't look like what I've been through. But you're talking to a woman who has been raped. You're
Mm-hmm.
talking to a woman who has been molested. You're talking to a woman who did not have her dad growing up. You're talking to a woman who has been held at gunpoint.
Jesus.
You're talking to a woman who was a teenage mother navigating, trying to figure out life all by myself. And so when I say that, I have a heart for those who are broken. I have a heart for those who have been rejected and those who have been dejected I
Mm.
mean that from the bottom of my heart, from the very bottom of my heart.
We're gonna back up just a tad bit. You know, you mentioned quite a few things that I want to touch on, but one of the biggest is the fact of being a teenage mom,
Mhm.
right? And I say that out of everything that you've mentioned is because I'm noticing a rise in teenage parents now, right? And not even, well, teenage parents and young adults, meaning between the ages of 14 and 22,
Right.
right? And we talking two, three, four babies, right? By the time we get 22 years old. What was that like? Because now, you are a mom, you are a wife, you are a grandma. Come on to the grandma club, right? But on top of that, what was life like being a teenage parent first?
Okay. Well, let me give you a little backstory. We talked about me being raised in Los Angeles, California, born and raised.
Right.
I am, but I also was a military brat. So I traveled
Okay.
Germany, Alaska, Kansas, New York. So we start at New York. And New York is actually where I had my first child.
Okay.
And I moved back to LA when I was 16 years old. But finding out that I was pregnant was one of the hardest moments that I had to face. Um,
Mm.
I also was a juvenile delinquent.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. In the streets. Okay.
So I was out there, I was running away from home. I
Okay.
was hanging out with people that I probably shouldn't have been hanging with. But I remember I was in high school and I had just made the cheerleading team. I was so excited. They said, all you have to do is hit that toe touch and you'll make the team. And I hit it. Okay.
Okay. Okay, Miss
I
Toe
hit that.
Touch.
I hit that toe touch. And they told me, welcome to the team. I was so happy. I had always, wanted to be a cheerleader. I was a mascot for a little while for uh I forgot the name of it, but it was in Inglewood. But I was
Okay.
a mascot.
Mascot. Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm finally going to be a cheerleader. Well, fast forward, after I made the team, my mom took me to go get a checkup, and it was there that I found out that I was pregnant. And
Doing your
because of that,
physical.
that dream of being a cheerleader shattered.
Really?
I could no longer be on the team
Because you
um,
were pregnant.
because I was pregnant. Because I was pregnant. And, as a little girl, because 14, 15,
Mm-hmm.
you're a child.
You still, yeah.
You're still a child. I didn't really understand the magnitude of what being pregnant meant at that age. I
Okay.
thought maybe my life was over at that point.
Okay.
I was told by different people have an abortion, but I couldn't do it.
Right.
Even at that age, I just said, you know what? I was blessed with a baby inside of me.
Right.
This is a gift. I can
Absolutely.
do it. At
Absolutely.
because I found out when I was 14. But I just could not get rid of my child.
Okay.
And then during the time I was pregnant, I winded up going into foster care
Mm-hmm.
and stayed there for a year with a
Mm.
family who was African American.
Okay.
At that time, they really aimed to put uh, families who had the same racial background together.
To get right. That was a big thing then. Yeah.
Yes. So they were a good family, but I was in a strange place. They
Mm-hmm.
went to church every Sunday. I wasn't used to that.
Something new, right?
It was something new. Um, they took me to church, and I remember I was, I was pregnant at the time, and I was hungry, and I kept
Okay.
telling them that I was hungry. And this is a really crazy story, but they thought that for some reason when I was moving around that I had the Holy Ghost or something.
Oh, okay.
I was
But
I
you
was
was
I was
hungry.
yeah, I was hungry, and I was moving around, and I'm like, I'm ready to go, like I'm hungry. I haven't eaten.
Okay.
And before you know it, people are running around the church and chasing me around the church. It
And
was
you
it
just
was
moving because you hungry.
I was just hungry. It was the craziest thing, but it
I
was
cannot even imagine of what that would have looked like. You moving because you hungry, and they think you done caught the spirit.
they thought I caught the spirit.
Okay. And
Um
now you are here. So you've
so
definitely got the plant, the foundation, your religious relationship, not right, not just your religion, but your religion, because you have a complete relationship with the Most High, right? You're not just
absolutely,
regurgitating from a book. This is your life,
this
like
is my
now.
life.
um your healing process, because you talked about physical abuse and mental abuse in a few different arenas, right? From rape to um, gunpoint to mental, all of it. Give us a picture of when you just thought that was it, that you knew you could not come back, but you're here now. What was that feeling like? And what did you do to get through it?
I was navigating life on empty. It seemed like
Mm,
everywhere I went, nothing felt right.
okay.
Nothing resonated with my spirit. Every space that I was in, it just did not fit with who I knew I was at the core. Going through the motions. I had help. My family was very supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Like any family, we all have challenges and
Yeah.
problems, but
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
really did look out for me. And I'm talking about during this time, because we were talking about me being a teenage mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a point from me being, yes, 6 years old. That's when a lot of the molestation started. But going back from like 15 and up until I was about 21,
Mm-hmm.
my life was full of turmoil. And so when I tell you, I knew that there was something more
Okay.
than what I was experiencing. There was a time in my life, many years ago, where I felt like I did not want to be here anymore.
Right.
And
Okay.
it was at that moment where I met the Most High. I met him in that dark space. And so I will tell a quick testimony,
Absolutely. Please.
because as you see, I'm married now. And
Yes. Come on, married life.
yes, I am married now. And I am married to a man, but that had not always been the case.
Okay.
I'm one of those who will tell you, I'm not gay no more, right?
Okay. Okay.
Because at a point I was living a lesbian lifestyle.
Okay.
And so going back to the time where I felt like I wanted to end it all, I cried out to the Most High and I said, if you are real, show
Right.
up. Because right now, I don't know if I could live anymore.
Okay.
And so I got on a chat line, and that chat line it was called the Rainbow Room.
Okay.
And there were men and women on there, gay and lesbian. But out of all the times I've been on there, there was not anyone ever on there preaching about the word of God.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so
On the
from the
channel.
moment I cried out and I said, I don't want to be here anymore, show up to me. And I called that line. There was someone on there saying, if anyone on here needs to talk, I need to tell you about a man who could save, a man who can deliver. And with this platform, you could go one-on-one. So I
Okay.
went on a one-on-one call with him, and he started telling me how the Most High loves me and how he desires to grow me and change my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so he started reading from the Bible. And he read, I believe it's in Matthew chapter 5. So do not worry about tomorrow, what you shall eat, what you shall drink. Sufficient for the day is the evil thereof. And so it goes on to talk about how you don't have to worry because your heavenly Father knows what you need even
Right.
before you ask him.
Right. Right.
And I knew right then and there that this was Yah talking to me through someone I have never
Right.
met.
The answer to your prayers.
The answer to my prayer. And at that time, I was living with my mother, my 2 children. They were toddlers.
Okay.
Me and my mom weren't getting along. And it just seemed like everything was falling apart. And so after he gave me that scripture or the passage about don't worry about what you shall eat, don't worry about what you shall
Mm-hmm.
drink, that encouraged me so much that I didn't desire to kill myself anymore.
Amen.
It gave me the courage. But then, not long after that, my mom told me that I had to leave her home. Me and my 2 children, I had nowhere to go. So now, I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to
What you
do?
next? Yeah.
But I remember what he said to me. I remember that word, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to worry about it.
Absolutely not.
I don't have to worry about this. And so I looked, and I think it was I don't know if it was like the newspaper. It was something. I looked for a place to go, and I found this place where it was one room, and there were these women there who would pray. You know, it's that part's very, very vague, but
Okay.
these women were there.
Okay.
They appeared to be women of the Most High, but they were not. I'll just
Oh.
say that.
Okay.
I'll just say that it was a lot happening in that home.
Okay.
But I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and I said, Father, can you please open up a door for me? Open up a door. And I was there for 6 months, and I got a call from a woman saying, do you want this place? Now, to preface that, I had been looking for a place with a lady that I was dating, and
Okay.
it was this particular place, and I was turned down for the place that I was going to move in with her.
With her. Okay.
Yes. And so full circle, it's the same lady who calls me and says, "Do you want this place?" And I said, "But I thought you said that I couldn't have it." She said, "I said, do you want the place?" She was an older lady.
That ain't what she asked you, right? Answer
Yeah.
the question.
"Do
Yeah.
you want the place?" And I said, "Well, I don't have the money.
That ain't
I
what
don't
she
have
asked
the
you.
deposit." She said, "Do you want the place?" I said, "Okay, yeah." She said,
Mm-hmm.
"When can you come get the keys?" And so
Yeah.
I moved in about a month later.
Okay.
And the place that I moved into, by the way, was on the same street as the church that I had started going to. I didn't have a car.
Look at God.
The same street where we could just walk up there to go to Bible study, walk up there
You'll get
and
your
and
fill.
and, and go on Sabbath. And this church actually was introduced to me by that guy who was on the party line.
Okay. Okay.
So
So when
all
you're
of it,
talking party line, you talking old school, pick up the phone,
pick up the phone.
1-800 whatever type of.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Okay.
So that's just one of many of my journeys, but you know, through that showed me that I can trust what Yah's word says.
Yes. So let me ask you this, right? Because that first of all is a powerful, powerful testimony. And for someone that's now on the other side, because it's a forever journey. It's not like once you made it, you're done. It's a forever journey in life
Forever.
because elevation is the key. What can you tell someone who's standing at that doorstep of just trusting God right now, right? Because as you know, it's hard to trust something that you can't see, right? When you can't see you see the big picture, but you can't see the steps to get to that point. What would you tell someone that's working or walking through that journey right now that's ready to just throw in the towel?
Hmm. That it won't always be like this. That this is not this is not the end.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the end. And like you said, healing is a process. It's not a one-time event.
Right.
Brokenness is a choice. It's not a fate. And so even though you feel that way, you have to choose each and every day to get up and say, I am going to make it. There is hope.
Yeah. So how do you, with everything that you've been through right now, you are still standing. You are standing strong. You are not hiding behind your trauma. You from what I can see, you're using your trauma to heal others, right? You're telling your story out loud.
Yeah.
What are you doing to make sure, of course, keeping your relationship with God, we see that. What does your everyday or weekly life balance look like to continue to elevate other people, but to keep Tiffany grounded? What does that look like for you?
Well, one, I think I need to work on balance. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because I have a lot going on.
Okay.
A lot going on. However, I don't really live my life as out loud as I used to. So the things that I do are really behind the scenes.
Okay.
So I'm constantly pouring into other people's cups and making sure that people know that they're thought of and they're loved. That I feel like is my mission to do so.
Okay.
and then pouring into my children and trying to balance, the issues that struggles that they go through.
Okay. Being there,
You
everything.
know,
Yeah.
and it's taxing. So when it comes to balance and just navigating, just trying to get through it. I'm making it with the help of the Most High and my wonderful husband, but sometimes it is hard.
Oh, baby, look, that is probably one of the most transparent conversations, or statements, because of the fact that you said it is hard. It is not always easy, even with a partner. You have a husband. So, first of all, how long have you been married? Let me ask that question. Can I ask that question?
Yes. I've been married for 9 years.
Okay. So, you've been married 9 years and it's still not easy.
It is not easy, but it has gotten better.
But them social media streets make it look easy. We see these hashtags talking about relationship goals and the good and the glitz, and you shaking your no.
No, it's not that. It is not that. It is not that. When we align ourselves with
Uh-huh.
someone else, they have their own trauma.
Yes.
And if you are not actively doing the work,
Mm-hmm.
It's iron sharpens iron.
It does.
We have to learn from each other. We are growing with each other. This is a whole nother person with their stuff, like I said.
Right.
And it's like, what we gonna do with this? There's tears. There's,
So you would you say that you were healed when you met your husband, or you
absolutely
was
not.
she was like, you ain't even got to finish that statement.
Absolutely
You were
not.
still going through your healing journey
I was
when you
still
met.
going through my healing journey. In fact, I was broken when I met him.
Okay.
And he was going through what he was going through. But one thing that he said to me when I opened up to him about everything in my life, he said to me, "You are not your past."
Oh, okay.
He said, "You are not your past." And I
Okay.
said, huh?
That makes sense.
Because no one had ever said anything like that to me before.
That makes sense.
And I was holding on to so much.
Right.
And we got married 3 months after we met.
Wait a minute. Wait. Pause. You met this man while you were still broken, your terms. You were still healing because
Yes.
you wasn't healed. 90 days, 3 months after meeting, you done said I do, and it's been 9 years.
And it's been 9 years.
Okay, so Karen is a relationship coach. I had her on here first season. We're gonna have to bring her back because what she said is true. She telling me not to believe the fake stuff I was seeing online.
She said,
right?
"Girl, don't pay attention to that fake stuff. As a coach, I know for a fact that is not real." Okay.
No. When I was saying about, everybody's talking about, I want relationship goals, hashtag goals, all the glitz and the glam.
Oh,
and for
yeah.
you to come on and say that, that what you're saying is real, she's agreeing with you.
I got it now.
Right. And her comment split it into two. I don't know why, but I wanted to bring her in as well because what you just said confirmed something that she said back then that people had questions about.
Okay.
That you can get into a relationship while you're still healing because you can heal together.
Mm-hmm.
And you just proved that you and your now husband healed each other together, and you're 9 years strong.
And we still are. We still are healing. We still are learning. It's a journey.
Do you
It is
still
a
date?
journey that we chose to be on together.
Do you guys still date after 9 years?
Yes, we do. It's not as often as I would like, but we do. As a matter of fact, we just went on a staycation
Okay.
and had massages. We well, we celebrated our anniversary, but it was
Well,
something
happy
that we
anniversary.
thank you. It's something that we hadn't really been able to do because of the children. And there's a lot, you know, I told you behind the scenes that we've had to deal with.
Right.
And so with that, there's a lot of attention taken away from us. So
Okay.
what we've been trying to do is to find that balance, so that we can be in a space where we are having joy.
That is awesome. Okay, so let's talk about Humpty Dumpty being put together back.
Yeah.
Hold, let me get it straight. I need to say it right because I asked you for the title of your life. If you had to give your life a title, what would it be? And you said Humpty Dumpty can be put back together again.
Again.
What does that look like for you? Because when in everyday life, when we see, broken pieces, you can kind of put things back together, but they don't always come back looking the same or acting the same or, can be used in the same manner. What does that look like to you being put back together again? Because as far as I'm concerned, Humpty Dumpty can't be put back together again. I'm about to go in there and fry me up an egg. But
Oh, yes, he can. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall.
yes,
Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. But
yes.
all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again. First of all, what do we know about Humpty? Why was he on that wall?
Right.
There are so many different layers and missing pieces that we don't really know why. Why did this happen? But if I was to look at it and say that Humpty was on that wall because he was prideful, right?
Okay.
He had a
I'm with
lot of
you.
pride. And so when he fell, that fall was hard. So
Oh,
here's the task. Here's the task for the king's horses and the king's men, because obviously they had hope for Humpty.
yeah, they did.
Because if
Okay.
they did not have hope for Humpty, then they would not have tried to put him back together again. But they realized that it was out of their control. It was out of their power. They could not do it.
Oh,
So what
okay.
I want to say, and to tie it into my life, is that no matter how broken we feel we are, no matter how rejected we are,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how depressed we are, there is always hope, and that hope is found in Yahushua HaMashiach, who the world calls Jesus.
Yes.
That is my stance on that. I want to tell a little story real quick.
Absolutely, please.
In the Bible, in Luke 8:43 and 48, there was a woman who had an issue of blood for 12 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And no one had the answer for her.
Correct.
She
Okay.
said to herself, but if I could just touch, I'm going to use this word, it's called zizi in Hebrew. They
Say
said
that word one more time.
zizi or ziziot,
Zixiot. Okay.
the fringe. This is a zizi.
Okay.
She said, if I could just touch the hem, the ziziot of his garment, then I will be made whole.
Right.
So what she did, she moved herself through a crowd. because she heard he was in town, and she needed that healing so desperately. I've been bleeding. I don't know what to do. People are looking at me. They don't want to be around me because I'm unclean. But when she reached who the world calls Jesus, Yahusha, she touched the hem, his zit of his garment. And he said, "Who touched me?" Because I felt power come out of me. He turned around and he told her these words: "Your faith has made you whole." So it is our faith that makes us whole.
I love that.
Thank you, Abba. Thank you. It is not over for you. Whoever is listening to this, it is not over for you.
Somebody needed that. That was for somebody very, very specific. So whoever was
It is
waiting
not
on an
over.
answer.
It is not over. So the parallel to that Humpty Dumpty, they couldn't put him back together again. And they were men of prestige.
Yeah.
Not even they could do it. But you have the king, they call the king of the Jews, who was able to heal and make someone whole again.
Right.
There is hope. There is hope for the weary.
Miss Tiffany, I don't think you understand the doors you just opened today, this evening. You have truly, and I know for a fact, you are answering the prayers of a lot of weary people right now. And I thank you for being obedient to whatever it is that you have to speak and standing on your own word. As the streets say, standing on business.
Yes.
You standing on that faith business.
Yes.
Because you've had, and we're gonna have to bring you back on because your story runs deep.
Ooh, it's deep.
Right. So your story runs deep on a few different areas, right? Because your life truly tells the story of so many people. I can't just say women, because it's the story of even so many men, right? Because our men don't speak up as they should or could because of the fear of being judged, right? Because they have to have that S on their chest, right? You have somebody listening right now that don't know where to start, right? They keep hearing, even from us talking about prayer and talking about faith and talking about this man named Jesus, right? Where would they start? Where would you tell somebody to go to start if they don't have that religious background, right? They would never introduce to him. All they see is the taboo stuff on, the fluff and the fold that they see on social media. Where would you tell them to start?
That's interesting that you say that, because I know that my journey has not always been where it is now. I came, from a lot of different religious backgrounds until I finally got where I am and knowing who I am. And so I realized that it's not a one size fit all journey. Right. So the Most High knows those who are his, and they will hear his voice. And so in that, if you have been praying and crying out and believing like I did, you will get to where you are supposed to be. So
What did your during all of this time and even now, right? What did your, because I know you've had to disconnect from a lot of people, right? Which was not easy. You had to rebuild trust in a lot of people and trust in yourself. Rebuilding that village that you can trust, that village that was not just going to be, full of yes people, right? What did that look like for you? Or how important was it for you in this
ooh,
journey?
let me say this. There is an area in my life where I have questioned the Most High as to why he kept me by myself. You talk about a
Mm.
village, right? I've always wanted a village.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, the way I envisioned the village was not what it was. So my village is my husband, my sister, my children. I have a whole family, like a whole we don't my assembly, like those in my assembly, that's my village as well.
Okay.
But it's still a lonely walk, right? So
Okay.
because not everybody understands everything,
No, they don't.
especially um, when you have someone who is transparent. I know there are some people who'll be like, well, why would she come on here and talk about and tell all of that, you know?
Because we
But
need it. We need it.
right. And so sometimes that can be alienating.
Yes.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's okay because um, the Most High has sustained me. And I think that if I had a lot of people around me,
Mm-hmm.
the messages that I receive from the Most High, the way that I experience Him would be different.
So for you, being secluded and being disconnected from some was a blessing for you and the blessing that you needed for your own
Absolutely.
for your own elevation. And I get that
Absolutely.
because that is definitely a season that I'm in. And baby, look, I was like, you want me to do what? Where? Oh, are you
Oh, no,
me?
no, no, no.
You talking to me?
Uh-uh.
I did. I had to question it first, and I was like, okay, I get it. I get it. Sometimes well, talking for myself, right? I do. I sit down and journal and talk it out. God, look, I don't understand. I'm following. I'm going one step at a time. I'm trusting that you're gonna lead me and do all the things. But when it get a little loud, that's how I know that I may have did something that veered from what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm reminded in this season, and I shared it with one of my good girlfriends, that our purpose does not always come dressed as our preference, right? Sometimes we miss the message because we're looking
Mhm,
at the messenger, and that's
mhm,
not always the case.
mm,
So it does, when it get a little loud and you can't distinguish what you listening to and who you listening to, that seclusion and that disconnection is everything. Shut down them social media pages, turn that phone on do not disturb, right? Yeah, you may need to have that one or two person that know how to get to you
mhm.
in case of a true emergency.
Yeah,
But when you need that quiet time, take that quiet time, right?
yeah.
um I
I,
appreciate you, Tiffany.
I have a lot of fun um, in my relationship with the Most High because it's truly important to have a village. It really is. You don't want to be secluded and alone, but sometimes there, like you said, there is a
Right, all
season
right,
for that. But it isn't healthy. Seclusion isn't healthy. I don't want to put that out there.
right.
But if it's a season where you have to do so in order to be able to get centered and healed, then it's
Correct,
a season for that.
correct.
So I totally I get that.
It is, and it is a season, and I believe that some things that's something that a lot of people don't see because they're used to being around so many people, and they're looking more at the quantity and not the quality of people, right? If you are constantly surrounded by, the yes man, the one that's always agreeing with you or agreeing with all the foolishness, right? But they're never pulling your coattail to Consuela, we're not gonna do that. Or
Yeah.
Consuela, we vented for the last 24 hours. Now what we gonna do to get through it, right?
Mhm.
Are we gonna continue to sit here in sorrow or are we gonna get up and do the work? Right? You have to have that balance of across the board.
Right.
So, part of your bio said you was a songstress or you was a singer and a spoken word artist and all the things.
I could sing a song.
Well, you can either sing a song or you can give us a quick
I'm gonna
spoken word something.
I'm gonna sing a song.
She said, she said, you are not gonna do me like that. What you
But
got, Miss
I'm
Tiffany?
I'm gonna sing a song that I wrote. And it's actually a song that brings comfort to
Okay.
me, and I hope that it can give comfort to others who are listening as well.
Okay.
In the shadow of your arms is where I'll be, with your grace and mercy always following. By the power of your hand, I can now withstand. I can feel you pour your love over me. I can feel you pour your love over me. You are my safe place. You are my Abba. You are, yeah. You are my shelter. You are my fortress. You are, yeah. Oh, by the power of your hand, I can now withstand. I can feel you pour your love over me. I can feel you pour your love over me.
I love that. Thank you very much, Miss Tiffany. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yep, we're gonna definitely have to have you back on. Before I let you go, she has a beautiful, beautiful voice, right? And you said you wrote this song.
I wrote it. Yeah.
Is this let me ask you this. Is this streaming somewhere that people can go download and purchase and all the things?
No.
Okay, not yet.
So
Okay.
I don't have anything out yet. I had some nuggets before we ended. Can I share?
Absolutely. That was going to be, so I got two questions for you.
Oh, okay.
That was going to be part of those two questions.
Okay.
So the one question is, if they remembered nothing that you said in the last 55 minutes, what are the three nuggets that you want them to remember? Four? Hey, do you? Hey, if he give it to you to speak on it, speak on it. I'm not going to block it.
I've said it over and over in this conversation, but I'll say it again. One, healing is a process. It is not a one-time event, although it can be. Brokenness is a choice, not a fate. You can't conquer what you don't confront. Also, surrendering to Yah is about letting go of control. And the nugget is, we cannot always control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond.
Jesus, we cannot always control what happens to us, but you can control how you respond. I don't think I have nothing else to say, but I do. I would really like to end it there, but I do have one question.
Yes.
With everything that you just said, the one question I ask all of my guests in this wonderful world that we live in and the life that you're currently living, what does it mean to you, to Miss Tiffany, to live life with no more limits while being beautifully flawed?
Well, I will share this transparency. Living life with no more limits to me is getting rid of and well having the care nots, as my sister would say, about what others are thinking about me. That's what living life with no limits is. It's not about what man sees, it's about what the Most High sees.
I love it. I love it. And on that note, guys, you heard it from Tiffany Denise's ears, our lips to our ears. Humpty Dumpty can be put back together again. Thank you for joining us on this episode of What's in Your Cup Conversations with your girl, Consuela Nicole. Remember, if you have a story and a testimony to share or a journey to share, definitely feel free to check out our website. If you know someone that has a story that should be told and they are ready to be transparent, which is the key, they can also check out the website and see the previous episodes. Until next time, remember, this is your life. This is your journey. You control the pen. And as Tiffany said, you may not be able to control what happened to you, but you can control now how you respond. Until next time, everybody, have a good night.